Shorty, Shorty, how you doing today?
Chilling, chilling. What's going on?
What's going on? Having a happy holiday season?
Yeah.
Like your red, tying in with the holiday?
No question.
Nice.
Feeling a little festive today.
Little festive
Just
today?
a little festive.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
My New York Knicks.
Well, this is not around the world of sports.
Nah,
today.
this is around the NBA.
Around
the NBA.
Okay, all right. We trying
Around the
something
NBA.
different
Doing
today.
a little something different. Focus on the NBA today.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, New York Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get into my Knicks.
Okay.
8-game winning streak has come to an end, but was an 8-game winning streak.
Okay.
You know, longest in the NBA. So I'll take that. Played the Toronto Raptors last night. Got beat 113 to 106.
Ooh, close.
Yeah, it was close. It hurt a little bit, but that's coming off an 8-game winning streak. I'll take that. We was gonna lose at some point.
And they must be tired.
Yeah, and they played the night before that. So, you know, coming off a back-to-back, playing against a Toronto team that's 14 and 18. Their record's not that great, but I think they're a better team than their record shows.
Okay.
Toronto Raptors are a good team. Even though they're 14 and 18, they are good. They're struggling this year for whatever reason, but they got a good team, and they got a good coach in Nick Nurse. The Knicks are now 18 and 14. I'll take that. They're sixth in the NBA. Well, they're sixth in the East. In playoff contention at the moment. So I'll take that. We're ahead of teams that a lot of people thought would be better than us. So I'll take the 18 and 14 record.
Okay.
We basically lost because Pascal Siakam had a great game. Career high 52 points.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can't let Pascal Siakam score 52 points.
Goodness.
Yeah, he was on one. That dude was on fire. And nothing the Knicks could stop him.
Wow.
So when your power forward scores 52 points, you got one player scoring 52 points, it's going to be hard to win the game.
Right.
Fred VanVleet also scored 28 points. So with them scoring that many points, it's going to be hard to win.
Right.
R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle, they paced us for 30 points each. So, you know, they played well. Emmanuel quickly got the start. He got 20 points. Quentin Grimes was hurt. He had a sprained ankle. So having Quentin Grimes out also hurt us. And Jalen Brunson didn't play well, surprisingly. He's been playing great all season, but he struggled. He only had 7 points. He went 3 for 14, but he did have 12 assists. But he struggled. And when Jalen Brunson struggles, the Knicks are going to lose their fair share of games because they depend on his points. But honestly, the story of the game was Pascal Siakam with his 52-point career high. Starting the game, you don't expect Pascal Siakam to score 52. Even if he scored 30, that would have been all right. But 52 points is a lot to overcome. Moving on, the Knicks will lose a second-round pick in 2025 for Jalen Brunson tampering.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently there was an investigation that was done on the Knicks, and it revealed that there was tampering. Basically, the Knicks got involved before free agency started in talks with Jalen Brunson and his management, his agent.
And I'm sure it probably happens all the time.
Thank you. I was basically about to say that. That happens all the time. Tampering happens in the NBA all the time.
Can't get caught.
But you just can't get caught. And the Knicks got caught. I mean, they hired Jalen Brunson's father as assistant coach prior to signing Jalen Brunson. Leon Rose, who's the president of the team, who used to be an NBA agent, his son is still an NBA agent, represents Jalen Brunson. So there are a lot of ties to Jalen Brunson and his family.
Too much nepotism.
And the Knicks got caught.
So what, did all the nepotism lead to the investigation? Like, what prompted the investigation in the first place?
I think the Dallas Mavericks wanted the investigation.
Ooh,
Because
those Mavs.
because Jalen Brunson was the point guard or a guard on the Dallas Mavericks team.
Those Mavs.
Yeah, so
They said, wait a minute now.
Mark Cuban might have said, "Wait, hold up."
Hold
He might have said, "Hold up, wait a minute. What's happening? What's happening?"
Don't mess with Cuban either.
Yeah, Cuban is a very smart, swift
He's
dude.
very shrewd.
Yeah,
He
so
knows.
he knows the pulse of the NBA. So yeah, we got caught with our hand in the cookie jar.
Oof.
So
No bueno.
yeah, I don't advise tampering, but I will say if we're gonna lose a second round pick for Jalen Brunson, I'll take it.
Oh.
I'll take it. I'll take the second round because Jalen Brunson is not a second round player.
Right.
Jalen Brunson is maybe an all-star this season. If we can keep winning, Jalen Brunson should be an all-star. So I'll lose a second round pick in 2025 for Jalen Brunson. I don't advise tampering. I don't think it was smart of the Knicks to do that. I'm not saying I advocate for that, but at the same time, I'm saying that I will accept Jalen Brunson over a second round pick. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. If that's what it takes to get Jalen Brunson, which we got him, it would have been messed up if we did that and we didn't get Jalen Brunson. But we got Jalen Brunson. But again, I don't advise or advocate for tampering. I think it sullies the game, but at the same time, it's done constantly. But again, I will take Jalen Brunson over a second round pick any day.
Okay.
And that's just how I feel about it.
All right.
Moving on, the NBA referees. I got something to say about them.
Oh boy.
They like to give out a little bit, in my opinion, a little too much with the technical fouls and the ejections lately. Nobody comes to the game to see the referees.
No.
People come to the game to see the players. And just two incidents that I noticed recently. Ja Morant got tossed out of a game basically for talking to a fan of his, who the fan was complaining about the referees. And Ja Morant responded to the fan who was talking to him from the sidelines. The referees decided to toss him for that.
I mean, did he say something derogatory?
I don't know what he said, but he was talking. He wasn't talking to the referees.
And he wasn't fighting with the fan.
He wasn't fighting with the fan. The fan was actually a super fan of his in a different stadium who actually just loves Ja Morant.
So the only negativity taking place was against the referee.
Right.
And they took offense and
Yeah,
threw him out.
they took
That's
offense because the fan was talking about the referees.
Right,
But
that's
it was
the
the fan talking about the referees. Ja Morant was responding to what the fan was saying to him about the referees. And I guess the referees overheard what he said to the fan. That was directed at the fan, though. It had nothing to do with the referees. Why are you throwing him out of the game for that? I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was very premature. And I thought it was immature on the referee's part.
Yeah, that's a serious overreaction.
I'm like, you're a referee. You can't have thin skin.
No.
It's part of the job is not to have thin skin. To me, I think it's ridiculous. I think sometimes these referees got a little bit too much ego, and they want to be too much part of the game. And I'm like, I don't feel that. Another instance, Luka Doncic, and then, mind you, these are two superstars we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
These are not just anybody's. These are two superstars we're talking about. Luka Doncic got a technical foul. In his words, he felt he deserved it. He uses, I like to say, boo-boo words.
You got that from...
I got that from somebody else, so I can't take credit. I can't remember where I got that, but...
The representative.
Where was that? Who said
The
that?
female representative.
It was some politician
the one
that said...
hangs out with,
I don't know her name,
can't
but it
think
was
of
some
her
politician that said someone like to use boo-boo words. So
that just stuck with you.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that stuck with me. So, yeah, boo-boo words is not my term. It's someone else's term, but I run with it sometimes. So anyway, Luka Doncic said he used some words that he probably shouldn't have used. And he admits that he should have got the first technical. After that, he didn't really say much after that. And then the ref decided to just eject him.
For what purpose?
He gave him another technical foul.
On what grounds?
And if you have two technical fouls, it's an automatic
right,
ejection.
But what was the second technical foul? What were the grounds of the second technical foul?
They don't say.
They didn't say.
They didn't say. It's just he said something else, which he said he didn't say anything crazy. like I guess he was still complaining, but he wasn't complaining in a derogatory manner. And I guess the ref got tired of him talking, period, and just said, "You're out of here." Which, again, I find to be ridiculous.
And this was a different ref.
This is a different game. This is a whole different game, a different ref.
No, I get that.
It's not the
different
same
game,
ref.
but it
No,
still
it's not.
could have
It's
been
not the same ref.
So what? They just had a meeting.
They
and
just,
decided
I don't
they
know
just
what
not taking it no more.
the NBA is on some stuff right now when it comes to, I think they call it respect for the game or some nonsense like that. And it's like, yes, respect the game, but at the same time, even early in the season, I've seen them giving technicals for players slapping their hands, clapping their hands.
What?
I've seen them get technicals for
crazy.
clapping their hands. Like, if there's a call, and a player deems the call a bad call, and they have initial reaction, I don't believe they should get technical fouls for that.
Right.
I believe let them have the initial reaction. It's an emotional sport. It's a competitive sport. Let them have their initial reaction, and then if they keep going, then I can understand technical fouls. I can understand that.
The clap beats the boo boo word.
Right. It's not. They're not cursing. They literally, it'll be a bad call. They get called for a foul that they don't deem a foul, and they'll like clap like this. And referees were giving them technicals for that early in the season.
That's terrible.
And some of them are still doing it, but not. I don't see it as much as early in the season. But it's like, for what? For what? I've literally seen plays when guys are called for fouls, and even the opposition, the player that actually benefits from the foul call, will look like they're surprised that the call was even made because they don't even feel like they got touched enough. And a player will clap or have one little reaction at the very end of that call, and it would be like, okay, can you let them react a little bit? Especially if you know a call's a borderline call. There's some calls that are hard to call, and I give the refs credit for that because that's not an easy job. Some calls are very borderline. Could go either way. But you got to allow a player to react to that. Then, like I said, if they keep going, then yeah, I understand you give out technical fouls and stuff like that, and sometimes ejections. But I feel like it's happening a little bit too much, and I feel like the NBA should change that. I understand that these referees are giving directives sometimes at the beginning of the season to call certain things more. Like now they're calling the traveling call, they're calling that more now. Which in some cases that's very good, in some cases not so much. But they're giving these directives by the heads of the NBA. Okay, I can see it both ways. If you're giving directives to make the calls, you're going to make the calls. But at the end of the day, you got to have certain freedom, certain discretion to not call certain things. Because some things are just over the top. You don't want, like I always think, a lot of time in these games, you have children that are going to these games for the first time, and maybe their parents can only afford one game a season, and they're actually coming out to see these stars play. You're penalizing fans when you do that. You know, fans want to see these guys play. They don't want the refs to end up becoming the star of the show. Nobody wants to talk about the refs at the end of a game. They want to talk about the players and the game itself. The refs should never be the star of the show. You can always tell a good ref when they're not talking about the refs at the end. When they're not talking about the referees, they're not talking about the calls, that means the refs did a great job. Nobody wants to talk about them. They want to talk about the players. They want to talk about the game. Let's keep it that way. Let's keep it that way. I'll leave it there with the NBA refs.
Okay.
Zion Williamson has entered the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. That's tough. He's having a great, great season. And this is the first season she's actually been healthy. You know, but he got COVID. Zion Williamson's having a great year. He's averaging 25.2 points a game, 7.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists in 33.4 minutes. I think he's on his way to the All-Star game, you know, as long as he stays healthy. I'm assuming this COVID thing might last a week or so. He's got to obviously test positive 2 times. Test negative 2 times. But the New Orleans Pelicans, they're having a good year. They're 18-12, having a very good year. But Zion Williamson is healthy. And it's the first time he's been healthy in a long time. So hopefully this COVID thing is short-lived for him, and he can get back on the court. But shout out to Zion Williamson for having a great year so far.
Nice.
Also, Golden State Warriors, 15-18 for a team that were the champs last season. They're having a rough season so far, and they're playing very poorly on the road. Stephen Curry's hurt. He suffered a shoulder injury recently, and they have him out for a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
They can't survive without Steph Curry. They were having a tough time with him on the court. And I don't know about them this season. Even when he comes back, they might be too far behind by the time he gets back on the court. You know, they got blown out by my Knicks the other night. And just yesterday, they got blown out by the Brooklyn Nets, too. It's not looking good for them. You know, I hope Steph Curry, he's one of my favorite players in the league. I hope he can get back on the court real soon. But, yeah, the Golden State Warriors, they're not looking like the champs anymore. But there's a lot of time left in the season, but I don't know. Without Steph Curry being out there, they're going to struggle. So, got to keep a lookout for the Golden State Warriors and see if they can rekindle what they did last season. But I think it's going to be very tough for them this year. I think there might be a new champion this season. I really do. And I think I might do a video on that coming up, or who I think could dethrone the Warriors.
Okay.
That's an idea I came up with earlier today.
Okay.
I think I might do something on that.
All right.
Also, shout out to my boys on For the Love of the Game. I was on their podcast the other night. Appreciate y'all for having me on. Worldwide L and Hard Will. Props to you guys for doing a great job on For the Love of the Game podcast.
Nice.
So big shout to you guys. Keep going strong. And Sporty Shorty says peace.
All right. Peace.
Peace.